Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the AV podcast, the Alive podcast. I'm your host, Jan, and I have Ray with me. How you doing, Ray? And today we have a guest. Oh, sorry, I cut you there. But today we have a special guest, and he also does YouTube. He does some paranormal, well, most like ghosts. No, not ghosts. It's urban exploring, but I guess also ghost hunting too. And we have SCPC Ghost with us. How are you doing?
Yes, sir. What's going on, Jam? How are you?
Good, good. I'm doing good. And we're trying to rehash this episode because we did this episode a while ago, but something happened with the audio and stuff. We had technical difficulties. But we want to interview you and ask you stuff about your channel and the things you do and how you come up, your upbringings to the channel, and how's it been, and have you ever encountered any type of paranormal stuff with your adventures? So let's just start with who are you? No, I'm just kidding.
Who am I?
So what makes you
what do
tick?
do?
You guys want to kick my brain? Okay.
So how does SCPC start?
Okay. Well, first off, thank you for having me on, Jam. I appreciate it. Ray, how's Ray doing?
Good, man. Always
My
good.
boy, what's up? It's
Always a
good,
party
yeah.
in here.
Right? How did SCPC start? We started off as a ghost hunting group out of Victorville, California, and this was probably 2015, 2016. I can't really come up with the exact date, but we started as a ghost hunting group, a paranormal crew. We didn't want to be called a group or anything special, so we were just a crew, like just a crew of dudes fucking going and looking for ghosts in crazy abandoned places. And pretty much that didn't work out. If anybody's got any experience with ghost hunting groups, it's just like a band. It's really hard to keep everybody together. It's really hard to keep everybody on the same page. Guys come and go, people lose interest. Before I know it, I was the only one ghost hunting. It was just me. So I just kind of took a position where I had already started a YouTube channel, Southern Cali Paranormal Crew, and nobody else really had any interest in it. The whole group diminished. Everybody went their separate ways. But I kept the channel, I kept the name, and I also fell in love with abandoned places, because realistically, a lot of times I would go into these creepy abandoned places to ghost hunt. Maybe they were historical, maybe they were just spooky looking, and I wouldn't catch any evidence. I wouldn't catch nothing, zero. So what I would then do is take all that footage and I turned it into like a kind of a cinematic kind of a story. Just I fell in love with the urbex idea. So my channel's pretty much split 50-50. I explore abandoned places, and then a lot of times I ghost hunt, and sometimes I do it in an abandoned place, so it's like a 2-in-1, So that's pretty much how the group started. It started off as a paranormal group, and now it's pretty much just me and whoever wants to tag along and look for ghosts and explore abandoned places. I'm definitely into the spooky. I'm into the creepy. I'm into the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's how it started.
It's funny you mention it, because actually my first channel, one of the first like the first type of content that I was trying to make, but we were making with Ray. We were urban exploring, but also we were trying to ghost hunt, and the object was to actually catch some ghosts like on camera. But yeah, spoiler alert.
A lot of people, the object is to be rich and famous. So if your object first was to look for ghosts and to catch something, that's a plus right there.
Yeah, actually, yeah, for me it was like, because I actually had never, I don't think I've ever experienced like a ghost encounter or something paranormal. So that was the fundamentals of getting the sort of like the first content, like the YouTube started, and then Ray tag along, and then we visit different locations, and then he went on more urban exploring than me, and then I transitioned to stupid shit. But my channel's about stupid shit. But yeah, it's funny you mentioned it, and then but we didn't really. We're still keeping the band together, so and now we're
We
doing
play a
this
few
podcast
gigs here and there, once in a while. Meet up on Wednesdays at the local bar.
Yeah,
Like
Ray's pretty
Smashing
good at this
pumpkins
loop.
and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep. I'll keep it PR. I'll leave it at that. No, I'm
Hey,
just
you know what's funny is I think I met Bobby right around the time when we started doing our little ghost thing. Me and Juan. The first place we went to was that old abandoned retirement home. Remember?
Yeah. You hit me up about it, and I saw your video.
That's how I met you, actually. I was researching. I was researching how we met. So.
You saw a video on another channel how you guys manage it. You remember?
I know. When Sally met Bobby.
It was that one dude, Explorer James. He had a video on that place, and I don't remember how I found it. But I remember I was watching your
James.
Yeah, you remember that guy?
That's familiar. Yeah, I think
I was watching
do.
your George Air Force Base videos, and I remember I commented, I'm like, hey, you should check out this freaking retirement home. Me and my buddy went.
Yeah, I totally remember that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it wasn't like a place that got burnt out.
Burned down. And we had to like hug the wall.
We I think we got a white noise, right? Like.
We got some voices.
Yeah, you did come up with some very questionable things. You shared it with me. I remember that. It was a long time ago, dude.
It was a while ago. Like
what was that, 2016, 2017?
I think 2017.
Yeah, something like that.
5 years ago, dude.
Or maybe 2016. I don't remember. But yeah, it was a while ago. And I remember some kid, I forgot his name, but I gave him the location too, and he ran into like a homeless guy in there. Was naked or something? Yeah.
Yes, I remember.
He's all beating off and shit. You stupid kid! Don't invade my home.
I was wondering if that noise, the voice we caught, was him. He was living in there or something.
You never know.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
No, but we're not loud, but we were making walking noise, and I think he if he was there, he definitely would have heard us. So I'm not sure.
But when you go into abandoned places.
Mm-hmm.
Especially ones that are closer towards the inner city or where there's a large population of people, not necessarily ones that are out in the desert or on the way to Vegas or in Nevada in the middle of nowhere. You do come across some strange shit. And I mean, if you name it, I've experienced it. I've had a freaking gun pulled on me. I've had a tweaker homeless guy following me around, asking me about my camera, if he can look at it. And I've had people that were just there, like for no reason, just like walking around like, oh, hi, how you doing? Like we're at Walmart or some shit. I'm like, dude, what are you doing here? And he's probably thinking the same thing, but we got cameras, so it kind of makes sense what I'm doing. I don't know what you're doing.
Hey, tell him about the time you had the gun pulled on you.
Yeah, so I met a guy named Carson through Ray.
Carson. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and Carson had a couple spots in mind, and he was like, hey, you want to come down with me this weekend and check these out? So he had an abandoned car dealership in Orange County, and we went. Great place, awesome explorer. I don't think it's there anymore. And then he had another place in mind, and it wasn't really that great of a place. So we went in and we were walking around. It was more of a nursery, not like a kids, babies, a nursery. It was like a nursery, like where they grew plants and trees and stuff. And I don't know what they grew there, but it really wasn't anything special to me. So I'm kind of thinking like, okay, I don't know what we're doing here. There's no trespassing signs everywhere. There's barbed wire. We had to like climb and go under this fence. And so I'm like, whatever. I don't even know why we're here. And then all of a sudden we hear a car pull up. So me and Carson squat down in these wood, like this bushy area where there's a lot of trees. And sure enough, we see this guy come in and he unlocks a gate. Obviously owns it, or he's a caretaker. And he had this big-ass hunting rifle with him with a scope on it, like a wood stock hunting rifle. Like a bolt action. Yeah, you don't want to get shot with one of those up close.
Yeah.
That's not going to end well for you. And he just flipped out.
What'd he say? Get off my lawn.
He's gun at us, and he was like, what are you doing on my property? I'm sick of all you punks coming on here.
Oh, shit.
Yada, yada, yada. And then about 3 minutes later, he's like, I should just kill you both here. And I'm like, okay. And Carson at the time was shaking in his boots. He was just like, I'm sorry, sir. We'll leave. We just want to take pictures and this and that. He's like, well, it's not your property. And I knew the guy wasn't going to shoot us, but I wasn't about to try to challenge him to that. You know, I just wanted to be peaceful. I was like, okay, well, we're on your property. We'll leave, you know. Eventually, you know, he was like, just get out of here. Both of you, just get out of here. I should kill you both right now. And I'm like thinking in my head, like, oh, my God, I want to say something to him so bad. Like, no, you're not. For what? Walking on your patch of dirt? But that was the only time I had ever been threatened and had a gun pulled on me. Damn. Yeah, Carson was shitting bricks. He was like, you know, he comes from Orange County. He comes from like really safe neighborhood, and like that's the first time he's probably had anybody pull a gun on him or threaten him like that. But to me, it was like, you know, talk is cheap. You're gonna do it, you know. But I'm glad we got out of it because you know. No. Yeah, you never know. The guy could have been nuts and he could have ended bad for us. But like I said, I wasn't about to rush him. I wasn't about to argue with him. I was just like, okay. You know? You shouldn't argue with the guy with a rifle pointed at you, you know?
Let's argue.
And don't bring us to a gunfight, right?
Are you a Democrat or a Republican, sir?
Don't bring a camera to a gunfight, is that?
Right? All I had was a camera.
Don't bring a gimbal and shit. Wow, well, that's a epic story, and I will imagine that it's traumatizing too. But
maybe for Carson, not for me. I was laughing, but now that I look at it, I shouldn't have laughed because that guy could have been nuts.
Yeah, he could have got the wrong, just 1% chance to get the real crazy,
you know.
Yeah,
but that was one of the craziest moments I've had in an abandoned place.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, you and Ray, since you guys have more input and experience on urban exploring, what is some tips that if people want to get into urban exploring or just go and wander around not scary places, but and also places that you shouldn't.
Abandoned places.
Yeah, abandoned places and stuff like that. What do you recommend to what's first starter kit? What should be on the lookout, and also stuff like that. Like how can you be safe when encountering or going?
Do your research.
Handle it, Ray. Go ahead, Ray.
See, do your research on the location first. Google it. See what other people have said online about it if you can find it.
Yeah, because I think the most dangerous stuff is probably I was under the impression that the most dangerous stuff was gonna be like fucking. Ghosts and demons and shit. But actually, maybe you're witnessing a freaking a drug deal going on, and just because they don't want you to know, they like freaking blast you right there or something. Also, like Bobby said, that you might trespass in somebody with a gun, and then they just have the rights.
I think the worst or the most serious stuff was like the environmental. Hantavirus in there, rat poop, hantavirus, bats. I remember one time we went to this place with remember that little school?
So many bats.
Yeah, there was like this little school we found out in, I don't remember where that was.
Mm-hmm. That is old abandoned school. Lake Elsinore.
Oh, it was Lake Elsinore?
Freeway, yeah.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, we found this little abandoned schoolhouse, and we were with some other people too. I forgot who.
Yeah, we were with another ghost hunting group.
Yeah. And yeah, we found the schoolhouse, but the inside was full of freaking bats. Like you shine your light inside, and the bats are just circling.
Dude, not only that, the entire building, which we didn't even go in, it smelled like urine so bad. And if you looked at the ground, there was literally 2 feet piles of like pigeon poop and rodent poop and piles of mice droppings. And that is really bad. If I were to give any explorers any advice, the older the building you're going in, depending on where it is, you're going to encounter stuff like that. And you're going to need a mask, not just a little COVID mask from the hospital. You're going to need a 3M. Yeah, you're going to need a 3M mask. You're going to need something that's going to protect you from all that.
P100 rated respirator, that's what they're called.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to need something a little more than just a cloth over your face.
Yeah. And it's funny because I remember seen all those videos made by the kids and stuff, and they're wearing like those little black ninja masks, and they're running around George Air Force Base where there's tons of asbestos, and it's like, dude, in 20 years from now, you're gonna be sick, or you might get sick.
Dude, the houses, not the hospital at George Air Force Base, but the houses, all those brick houses in the front in the beginning, those are infested literally with lead paint and asbestos. And not only that, the soil is all jacked up because there's still people that. Okay, you see what's going on with Camp Lejeune right now?
They're suing them or something, right? People were.
Yeah, people are. They got cancer and they got poison. Well, the same thing happened at George Air Force Base, and there's still people that are alive that are our age, that are getting checks because they got cancer because they lived there for a number of years. So let me ask you something, Ray. When you were at the George Air Force Base, all the times you've been there, have you ever seen a big rodent presence? Rats?
No.
Have you ever seen a rat? Period.
There? No.
Isn't that weird?
I've seen a rat before in real life.
That's the largest abandoned place in Southern California, as far as like square footage is. Talking square footage, like you can drive for 10 minutes and still keep passing by neighborhoods and buildings and structures. I've never once seen a mouse, a squirrel, or even a lizard at George Air Force Base. So these places are extremely toxic, and my advice to explorers would be just wear a mask, be careful, watch what you touch, wear boots.
Yeah, like construction.
That's a really good point. I never even thought about the insects and stuff. Nothing. There's nothing there. Yeah.
I just been winging it.
Now, there's nothing wrong with that, unless you're gonna, you're in an abandoned place and you're gonna lean down and pick up a big pile of pigeon poop and put it in your mouth. But when you do it every day, or at least a lot, like Ray and I have done in the past, then you should really protect yourself with a mask.
Pick up poop in put in your mouth.
But yeah.
Ray, I didn't know you were into that.
We do. You got to really be careful.
Yeah. This is some good advice because a lot of people, they just wander off without knowing anything, and they don't consider those, hazards, shall we say.
Dude, I've seen a video of George Air Force Base, and I think Ray actually saw these people. They made a video, and they had toddlers with them. And the toddler was wearing sandals and diapers.
Bring the kids.
They were walking the toddler in George Air Force Base Hospital, and the toddler was like stepping over glass and shit. It's like, what the hell?
Bring the family. You'll have a gay time.
Saw that?
I don't remember. I remember one time I saw some guy who brought his dog in there. I was like, I don't know, you're gonna bring your dog in there.
Yeah.
Hey,
I got a friend who actually is an urban explorer, and he brings his kids all the time to these locations, and it's like, bro, like that's not a place for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of hazards, more than people think.
Yeah, that is.
Actually, I went to the the abandoned railroad a while ago, and I remember
in San Diego. Okay.
Yeah, this whole family was there.
And that one's not as bad, right? Like it's
it's really dangerous now that I think about it. It's really dangerous. Like those bridges and stuff are so old, like they're gonna collapse one of these days.
Exactly.
And also the path is like really narrow too, and on the left side where you're walking, like you'll just fall down and die.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
You catch vertigo and freaking you're done.
Yeah, and they blocked the gates, so there's these big gates like that are like throughout the railroad.
Mm-hmm.
And the gates, they pass through like the mountain, but they locked them. But there's a way to go around them. So, but the path to go around them is like super freaking narrow. And
is it like the border that they only cover like one part and you just go around it and it's like, oh.
I mean, kind of, I guess, but I mean, you do that, you fall down and die. So I guess it is just like the border, right? No.
If you cross, you reach freedom, baby.
No, but the only way to around those gates now are these little super narrow paths, and that was dangerous. Like I brought a date, and I was like, this is
that was like your first date with that girl. Dangerous place where you can get murdered or you can die, like fall out of a cliff and shit. Perfect.
I actually brought like 2 dates there. The first time the gates were open.
Oh, even better.
Should have made it
the first time the gates were open, the second time they were closed, and it's like the second time I'm not falling down and dying. It's not worth it. We made it this far. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much the whole thing. We took our nice Instagram picture.
Oh man, you guys are wild. So, I guess. Well, that's a lot of insight for people that if they wanna get into this activity of urban exploring. That's a good insight to have with somebody experience.
Sorry, I cut you off.
No, I was done.
Oh, okay. No, I was gonna say that I kind of feel like the urban exploration it's kind of died down a lot, like online. When we were starting, it was kind of like at its peak, like in the
I think so.
But it was.
People are still doing it. People are still doing it. It's just not as maybe not as popular with like the kids, teenagers and stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, in all fairness, Ray, like it was at its peak, but in a bad way, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh, that's our next topic.
Wow. Okay, I'll wait till we go to the next topic.
No, that's it. Perfect transition.
Perfect transition.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Flawless. My teacher will be proud of me.
When I first started uploading to YouTube, and my ghost hunting group fell apart, and I was still doing the paranormal stuff, but I found that a lot of places that are abandoned and creepy were actually not haunted, and I started making videos, just purely urbex videos. I recognized that a lot of other people were doing it, not just in the United States, but all over. I mean, pretty much every country, not every country, but Europe, a lot of guys in England were doing it, Switzerland. I mean, it was just a very popular thing, and it was getting views at the time. And the problem with that is a lot of these guys were going in these abandoned places, and they were completely fabricating events that happened. Like they got demon possessed. They started making up stories. Anything that you can think of. Yeah, 3 a.m. challenges, Charlie pencil, don't make pancakes at 3 a.m. in an abandoned asylum. We almost died. And you
Bloody
know what?
Mary in the front of the mirror.
There's a lot of channels from back in the day, 2016, 2017, that really bit hard on that genre. And the views that were coming in, we're talking about millions and millions of views. And these guys actually made a killing off that, and now they've just moved on. They don't even do that anymore. They're like vloggers now, you know? Yeah. Like let's be real, like Jake Paul and his brother Logan, I think that's Jake and Logan Paul. Like, you know what got them big? I'm not going to lie. They started doing 3 a.m. challenges.
Yeah.
Did they do the
I remember.
Before they even had 1 million subs each, they were doing bullshit-ass 3 a.m. challenges where they would go to, like, the Downey Asylum, or they would go to a local cemetery, or they would get a hotel that was haunted, and they were completely bullshitting. And, you know, it really sucks because people took advantage of that time. And, you know, it really put a bad name to what we do, because when I go into an abandoned place, if my intentions aren't to look for ghosts, if I don't see any evidence that it's haunted, then I just explore it for what it is. You know, places are beautiful when they're abandoned, when there's a lot of stuff left behind. Like, I've been to sheriff stations.
History to it, man.
History, man. I've been to sheriff stations, police departments. I've been to morgues. I've been to hospitals. I've been to personal homes, and it's just fascinating to me. And a lot of these guys really built their channel up in the beginning by faking everything. And, you know, I mean, you ask Ray, I've never walked into an abandoned place and said this happened and that happened and demons attacked us and I got molested by Pennywise the demon. While he made Ray watch, and like he tied us up.
Me, actually.
And you know, like it's just, and you know what? It's like a lot of these guys, their channels are so fucking stupid. Can I cuss, by the way?
Yeah, don't say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We'll try to bleep it, but sometimes I forget.
Okay. Well. Okay. So some of these channels are so freaking stupid and so fake, and nobody cares. People actually enjoy that. So it's kind of a sting in the ass, if you ask me. You know, but at the same time, there's nothing I can do about it. People want to go into abandoned places and make up a bunch of shit for views and money and fame and have a big TikTok following or whatever. That's on them. at the end of the day, people like me and Ray, we just don't do that. You know, we're just
try to keep it real.
We try to keep it real. You know.
Yeah, keep it real.
Yeah.
I was thinking if I ever go back to doing that type of content, I'll keep it fake. Like like make it like very good editing, you know, so it's like believable. It'll give you like I'll entertain your evening.
I'm not saying you should do that, but in all fairness, that's what sells.
Exactly.
People like to be entertained.
Let's not mention her name because for whatever reason she hears this, she's probably gonna fire back. But there's a young girl. She's got to be like 20, maybe 22, kind of pretty. She used to be blonde, and she started doing these fake channels, like these fake videos. And I watched this little girl. I mean, I didn't really follow her, nothing, but I seen her from time to time. She went from 0 subscribers to 50,000 to 100,000, and I think she passed 1 million recently. And she went to all the locations that me and Ray have been to. She's been to other locations. She's worked with other fake urban explorers, and she's become a success off of fraud. And people might look at it like, well, what's the big deal? Well, I've been researching the paranormal pretty much my whole life, and when you tell me you're an investigator and you go into a place and you claim you caught something and it's obviously fake, your whole MO is fake. I've seen your videos. You're completely a fraudulent explorer and ghost hunter. Like, there's just no love left. Like, I don't care. Like, I would never, ever work with you. You know, and it's just sad that people would rather give a girl like that a like and a sub off of a 7-second freaking reel than people like me who go into actual haunted places and conduct real paranormal investigating. It stings a little, but also at the same time, there's nothing we can do.
Yeah, it is what it is. People like to be. They like to be entertained. They like to be entertained. They don't care. Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, not saying like to go that route, because I also don't like the fakers, shall we say? Let's call them that, the fakers. But I understand that they're just trying to entertain people. What gets me, well, not like mad, but and not jealous, but I sometimes say like, I can do a better job than that. When I see like a fake video, I was like, I can do a better one. In fact, I'm gonna do it. So, but yeah, that's actually pretty interesting where you're the point of view that you're presenting, that there is such thing as fakers, but there's also such thing as people that actually take it serious and they actually like doing that type of content and like exploring. And if they actually do catch something that is unusual, or shall we say paranormal, it has more validity than someone that just does blog. So your word will end. Well, your word will be more value at that point. So
actually, Bobby got probably one of the best pieces of evidence I've ever seen.
Which one?
You know which one I'm talking about? When your shirt got pulled on camera, that was like straight up probably the best thing of like one of the best like pieces of evidence.
You think that was the best? Yeah,
that was a wire. Not good. That was interesting. That's good. Wait, but which video is this? Fuck, I need to do it.
Glen Tavern Inn.
Glen Tavern. I submitted it to like those countdown channels too, like 10 times, and no one ever picked it up. They actually did pick up one of his videos
once. Did I tell you?
Oh no! Share that with.
I got on Chills. You know the channel Chills.
Oh, that's right.
This is Chills.
He talks like he's from Orange County, and everything he says acts like a question, and everything he talks about is like this.
He talks like he's constipated or something.
No, he talks like he was born and raised in Newport Beach, California. That's pretty much. That's it. But no, this guy hits me up one day. And I didn't know what to think. I was actually at the Clown Motel when he hit me up. He DM'd me, and his page was like a second page, and it had the same logo as his big Instagram page. I wasn't sure if it was a real guy. I mean, I've had people DM me like you wouldn't believe with all kinds of bullshit. So I didn't really take it seriously. He was like, "Hey, I'm interested in this video," and he sent me a screenshot of my YouTube video, and he's like, "I'm going to use it. Do I have your permission?" And I just looked at him. I just looked at it, and I was like, "Sure." 6 months later, he finally posts it. I didn't even really trip. about the time. I thought it was a fake page. But when he posted the video, he completely fabricated and cut it up. He cut up the whole fucking thing. He trimmed it up and made it all super spooky. He claimed that I caught this and I caught that.
He made up some really weird story, like scratches on the walls, painted story, like someone who was tortured and enslaved in this house.
Right. I mean, he's even the steps away from Ghost Adventures. It's like all he was missing was the demons and the Indian burial ground.
Even the YouTuber Bobby, he took a white lie and there was some cum stains on the wall.
Right? And here's the crazy part, is I didn't know people around the world talk like that. I thought that was a straight Southern California logo. This guy's from Canada.
Maybe he exaggerated.
He's from Canada, and he talks like...
I think he exaggerates it, honestly.
But yeah, he's gonna trim down like only the good parts, and he's gonna spice it up because that's what he does. I mean, I get it. Yeah, it's his thing. So
it's crazy, man.
Yeah,
it's crazy world we're living in.
So besides the and I'll put a link to that video of you getting your t-shirt pulled. What other?
There was more in that same video actually. He caught like it was a photo he took, and he caught like another person standing in the lobby or something.
Towards the end of the night, I kept seeing something in my right, like peripheral, I guess, in the my right eye. I kept seeing like something, like some movement, and every time I would look that way, I couldn't see nothing. So I grabbed my phone, and I was sitting on a couch, and we were in the lobby of this really old hotel. I think it was like 110 years old back then, so it's got to be like 106 years old. I'm sorry, 100. It's very old.
Old.
Just old. Yeah, it was old. So we did this video 4 or 5 years ago, so it's that much older. But I kept seeing something in the corner of my eye, so I said, you know what? I grabbed my phone, I turned it to the side, and I sat there and I had my finger ready. And every time I saw movement, I just hit the picture button. And I kept doing that for about 5 or 10 minutes. And then when I started looking through all the pictures, I caught an image of a guy hiding behind a pillar in a building in the lobby of this hotel. But it was so strange because the guy, in my opinion, the jacket or the clothing he had on, or the shirt or whatever, it was identical, the height and everything, to Carson. Carson was with us that night. Same Carson that was with me when I got the gun pulled on us. Yeah. And I just thought that was so weird. And to validate that, Carson had said he had some very strange things happen to him all the way home. He drove from Santa Paula, which was in Santa Barbara County, all the way back down to Orange County. I think he was living in Newport Beach or Anaheim or something. And he said the whole way down there he kept experiencing all kinds of like visual weird shit, and then he had nightmares for 2 days, and then they just stopped. So that was that place is a trip. It really is. Glen Tavern Inn in Santa Paula, California. Go check it out. They're totally cool too. If you want to rent the most haunted room there, they'll give it to you if it's open.
When you went to all these places that you went urban exploring or investigating, did you ever feel that what they call bad energy? Like you can sense it, and I don't know if you get like goosebumps, like your skin, reacts to it, or you start getting like a bad vibe. Does that ever has happened to you?
Of course. And really? there are times where it just the air doesn't feel right in the atmosphere. It just feels like you can cut it with a knife like butter. It just feels off for some reason. Butterflies in your stomach, nervous, sweaty palms, out of nowhere for no reason.
But I mean, I'm trying to get to like the more, I guess, paranormal. I don't know if that's even a word, but I'm gonna make it up right now. What I'm saying is that because so let's say I go urban exploring, I've gone urban exploring, so I do sometimes have felt those type of emotions, like I'm nervous, I'm worried if we're gonna get caught, we're gonna get kicked out, we're gonna get in trouble, if I'm gonna cut myself, if I'm gonna see a rat or a freaking bat or something like that. Like I understand those, like that danger, Yeah, like that type of bad energy and shall we say fear. Like I understand that, but what I'm trying to get is like a type of energy or sensation that you never felt before, that you honestly thought it was something else. Have you ever felt that?
And I know what you're saying, Jam.
Mhm.
So look, when anybody walks into an abandoned place, specifically if they're not used to it, I mean, Ray and I have been to some places where we had to like hop a fence, go under this, and run around here and get into a small entrance, pitch black some parts. So if anything were to happen, you're not going to run out of there really quick. And even if you go back to the place that you left, you know, you're going to have to take the time to get out and slowly and put your backpack through the little opening first and crawl out. So yes, once you get in there, you do have a fear. Generally, like, oh shit, if something happens, we're not going to be able to run out of here like an open door, you know. It's so we better hold our ground. But at the same time, if you think you've run into something paranormal, it's going to be a little bit of a different feeling. It's going to be a almost a feeling of like, have you ever got a balloon full of helium and you rub it on the carpet and then you try to touch your hair and your hair stands up, the static? You ever done that, Jamtrod? You never done that?
No, yeah, I've done.
Yeah, okay, so you know what I'm talking about, that static pulling electricity feeling. When you feel that accompanied with an uneasiness, and then what I always tell people, and I told this to Ray several times, is when you walk into a certain area of a building, whether it's abandoned or not, and you get that feeling and you get a nervousness in your gut and your palms start sweating, maybe sometimes you get what is in Spanish they call it asco. What is that? Where you start going
Asco?
You know what I'm talking about? Asco, yeah. You start
like,
gagging, upset stomach, nauseous. There you go. So when you leave that area and it goes away, and then you go back to that same area and you get the same feeling, and then you leave and it goes away, those are signs that you know, it ain't just like I'm scared, we're in an abandoned place. Now there's something here. You know, and especially the evidence that we gather is through the devices that we have. You know, the spirit box, the K2 meter, the REM pod. You know, there's all kinds of devices out there on the market today. But you know, yeah. So I definitely think there's two different types of feelings. Sometimes I want to ask people like, well, why do you say this place is haunted? Are you sure you're not just scared because you're in an abandoned building alone? Or is it something legit, like something different? And a lot of people don't really know the difference. So that's where the experience comes from. You have to have the experience.
There's been some times where, definitely you just feel kind of spooked out because of the circumstances of trying to get inside, get a little adrenaline rush. And there's other times where you just feel like, man, this feels really weird in here. Yeah,
like I guess that's the one that I haven't experienced, the one that is really weird. And I'm glad that you mentioned the gadgets that you bring along to do the sort of like the ghost hunting part of your content. Can you explain for people that don't know, and also for me that I'm ignorant on that, how do those gadgets work? Like what is it exactly that you're trying to measure, and that correlates with like a presence or an energy, or how does that work?
Okay, so all the research that people have done throughout the years, ghost hunting, paranormal investigating, people in the field generally believe that when you die, your body leaves in a ball of energy, which is your soul. So for whatever reason, they believe that ball of energy, which oftentimes if you do catch a good orb on camera or pictures, it's usually in the form of a ball. I'm not big on orbs, but I believe that when your soul leaves your body, it is a collective energy, whether it's a ball or a square or whatever. But we've come to believe that gives off EMF, electromagnetic field. Now, a lot of things give off EMF detection, but when you're in an abandoned place where there's no electricity, there's no power, you know, everybody's cell phones are far away, turned off possibly, and then you're getting these devices that go off because they're reading EMF, they believe that that's paranormal. So basically a REM pod, a K2 meter, stuff like that, is they put out a field of EMF, and when it encounters another field of EMF, it alerts you, and it says, "Hey, we're detecting an electric field right in front of us," and then that's where you get all the, the REM.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
because I could understand if you were like, I don't know, around 10 people and everybody was on their cell phones, and you were like in a place like, I don't know, Walmart or something. Like, yeah, there's a lot of things that are going to interfere and set these things off. But if you're standing in an abandoned place, there's no reason why that device would go off. So, yeah, we're strong believers in electromagnetic field, and we believe that that's how ghosts exist and travel. They are EMF.
Yeah, there's some kind of energy, basically.
Yeah.
That's why they also use like the thermal cameras too. So ways that people can try to get evidence of ghosts.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you guys know how the Tesla thing works? The Tesla detection?
Have
you seen those? Yeah.
Yeah.
The what?
They'll
The
detect
Tesla?
if a person is around your car.
Yeah, Tesla has like an object detector, and a lot of people are using their Tesla to like kind of ghost hunt.
Oh, isn't there like some videos? Yeah. Some videos that the Tesla detects like an object and there's nothing there.
One of the first people to do those videos, I'm not going to mention his name, but he's fake as he's as fake as a $9 bill.
He's fake as he's more fake than
I was
Kim
just wondering,
Kardashian's
though.
ass and shit.
But that is interesting how the Tesla can detect a person if they're near your car, and people are going into cemeteries with Teslas and they're picking up
people
around their car. That's interesting.
I mean, it could be the Tombstone too. I don't know.
It just sucks that
Fucking rat.
these guys have to like
Ran in front of
spoil
me.
it. These fake guys go and rent a Tesla, and then they spoil it by doing their video because everybody's, they'll probably have their friend like squatted down in the back rear tire, and then he'll knock, and the guy in the car will be like, "Oh my god!
Oh no!
Oh, we got one.
So scared.
It knocked when I asked it to." In my opinion, bro, I honestly believe, if you ask me at the end of the day, that social media is slowly destroying paranormal investigating. I really believe that. It seems like
I'll take it one step more. I think it's destroying the world, but that's another video.
Well, I mean, yeah, social media in general is going to be the downfall.
It's going to be another discussion.
But as far as like, I mean, look what it's done to boxing. We got YouTubers now that think they're boxers, and they're putting together these big fights, and they're hoaxing it.
And they're cashing out big.
Look at, and this isn't just my opinion. Look at what social media has done to rap and hip hop. I mean, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Mm-hmm.
This mumble bullshit, tattooed face, looking like underneath a school desk, full of gum all over your face, like ridiculous dreadlocks, gold teeth, and their rap is terrible. It's like I just heard recently a comedian talk about, if you were to take the rappers from the late 80s, early 90s, and have them battle against the rappers of 2022, it would literally be the 1992 Dream Team against the Special Olympics. Like Jamshot, do you know who the 1992 Dream Team was?
For which sport? Basketball, right?
Yeah.
Was it Kobe? No.
No. Look
Jordan?
it up.
Jordan was one.
Okay,
It's
it's basically the United States Olympic team in 1992 basketball. And oh my God, they had every player that was at their prime.
Didn't they have a second dream team in Beijing in 2008, right? With
I'm talking about USA, brother. I don't know about that.
No, I mean the USA team in the Olympics of Beijing.
Maybe.
Like Kobe, LeBron, and some like top basketball players. I don't watch basketball.
I don't know. I'm talking about 92.
92.
Like, if you look at all those basketball players, they were freaking, what do they call them these days? Goats. They were legends. They were goats. It's like, imagine 10 of the baddest motherfuckers out there in one sport compared to the freaking Special Olympics. Like I have no love for hip hop today, and I think a big part of that is because social media has destroyed.
Well, it's inevitable to transition into things that, and as we get older, and keyword getting older, we're gonna be experiencing even more and more. Now, every day, from now on, you're gonna be understanding your parents, your grandparents a little bit more. I was working on that joke for my stand-up comedian freaking career that's gonna take off next year. That little by little, I'm starting to understand that little lady at the Ralph that just want to talk to people. But I was working on this joke that little by little, I'm transitioning into the old lady at the Ralph that always wants to talk to people, and I'm like, don't talk to me, I don't want to talk to you. And now nobody wants to talk. Everybody just like DMs, or the kids are so introvert. Like everybody is introvert now, and back in the day everybody was extrovert. But little by little, I'm becoming that lady that I want to talk to, like the young generation. They're like, oh yeah, bro. Oh, they say bro. I'm like, whatever happened to dude? Yeah, dude. Come on, dude. Let's go, dude.
I'm getting old. Off topic for like 3 seconds. I didn't think I was old when this happened, but it just made me laugh. I think about 6 o'clock tonight, I got ding dong ditched. Oh. And when I was actually walking by the door, so I looked out the window and I actually saw these little kids running away, and I fucking started laughing because I used to do the same shit. And it's like, man, I'm getting old. I was like, they need to be a little quicker because I saw the direction they're running. If I were to be a little Karen, I would have found out where they came from and knocked on their door. But it was just,
get off my lawn.
Have you guys noticed the kids, like, they dress like they're in the 90s? Have you noticed that?
Yeah, in a weird way they do. Yeah, in a weird way they do.
Spiky hair and shit with polka shell freaking necklaces and shit. They're gonna be starting wearing.
My son rocks Chucks, white and black T-shirts with jeans, Levi's, and he's got this, like, his haircut is not really an Edgar, but it kind of looks like those Korean kids, BTS. Is that what they're called?
Yeah. K-pop stuff?
Yeah, like the bangs just come down right before the eyes, and it's just all cut straight across.
Mm-hmm.
Not really Edgar, but he's got his own weird style, and it's just, and all of his friends look the same. It's funny.
Yeah, now I understand my parents when they're like, pull your pants up and shit. Right? It's like that and shit. Okay, you need to pull your pants down, or else, if not, you're
gay. I come from a different generation. I come from a different time where parents used to say, pull your socks down.
Oh yeah,
because we grew up in our money, so all the
cholo and shit,
and the cholos and the essays, they used to pull their socks up way high.
Yeah.
It's like,
no Reeboks in the house and shit. Yeah.
Right? Aren't you hot? Aren't you sweaty over there?
You wear a hoodie even though it's like in the middle of summer and shit. Keeping it real.
Oh, that's a different culture. There's a different culture out there. They like to wear like leather, like a whole leather suit when it's 100 degrees outside. Are you kidding me?
Oh man, it's gonna be a fun day. But yeah, we're getting old, and I'm starting to understand my parents now and shit. My grandparents too. So
yeah,
that's how time is going. But also,
and let's talk some ghosts before this thing ends, man.
I was gonna say I wanted to go back to the ghost stuff. You know what place is good for ghost hunting, or not ghost hunting, but actually seeing some weird shit? Freaking Mexico, dude.
Yes. I have a friend who lives in San Isidro, and he goes back and forth from California to TJ, and he works for a newspaper down there. And he tells me there's a lot of good spots out there. A lot of good spots.
That's what I've been saying. I've been saying this for years. Let's go to the...
Yeah, freaking Mexico. Actually, I have a news story from that just recently happened to me. Because I didn't believe in that stuff. But it finally happened, and I was like, huh, I guess it is real. And the thing is that I was down in Mexico for Christmas time. I took the wife and stuff. So we're at my mom's house, and you guys ever heard the tale of La Llorona and stuff like that? Apparently, she's intercontinental and shit. I have a theory. I think it has to do with it's right by. It has to be. No, that's the thing. Like I'm still trying to investigate what's the like the phenomena or the whole thing. No, not the origin. Like the truth, or how does it manifest? Like what's going on? Like what's the actual like a scientific proof of what's going on and what this happens. And I've noticed that it always has to do with a place that either has like a lake or a stream or a river or some sort, and maybe it has to be like a tropical area, something like that, because my town back in Mexico is a tropical area, and there's like a river. Well, not it's kind of far, but it's not too far away from my mom's house. But anyways, so I'm like sleeping already, and my wife wakes me up and she's like, hey, what's that noise? And I wake up and I'm like, what are you talking about? Just go back to sleep. And sure enough, it was that sound, but it was like it went on for like minutes. And at first I'm like, well, it's probably a fucking dog, you know, or something like that. And it's like, no, that's even the dogs are barking, and the dogs were barking at that shit. And I'm like, maybe it's a freaking cat. I don't know. It's like, no, cats don't go like that. And yeah, it will like go and then pause and then it'll repeat, and it sounded like far away. And I was like, shit, is that her? So I was like, and the thing is that I didn't fucking record the thing. That's the best part. So nobody's gonna believe me. Well, the next morning, she actually goes. It sort of stopped, and the thing is that there wasn't any wind too. So I was like, well, it's probably the wind, but there was like no wind. Like there's like palm trees outside my neighborhood, and because there's a lot of tropical plantation and stuff like that, and there's no wind. Like I was like, oh shit, there's no fucking wind, so it can't be the wind. So to be honest, I couldn't figure it out. And yeah, the next morning I told my mom, and she even told me, how come you didn't wake me up and shit. So because she wanted to listen to that. I was like, yeah, freaking. And it's funny because it was the first time, my wife's first time or first trip to Mexico, and she gets greeted by the Llorona. Shit. So you were either and that too, like I've never experienced a story of duendes, but my uncle, who lives in Chicago now, he has a duende story. Do we have time for that? You guys want to listen to the story? Duendes, like little gnomes, like chaneques and stuff. Do you know little goblins and stuff? Little short people, duendes? In Mexico. I guess, yeah. They speak Spanish too. I think so, although the rumor has it, or the legend has it, that they sound like little kids. So when people hear them, they hear little kids, but they hear them like late, like in the middle of the night, like at 2-3 in the morning. And it's like a bunch of them, and you just hear kids playing, and they're like, oh yeah, they steal your shit, like your wallet and shit like that. Oh, that reminds me of another freaking story. Man, I'm full of stories, even though I don't believe in that shit. Anyways, let me tell you this stories really quick. So my uncle, he's like what, 18, 19 at the time. This was back in the 90s. He goes to one of his friend's house. And he's there, you know, freaking drinking tequila, stuff like that, like having a good time. And all of a sudden the night falls, and it's already like 1-2 in the morning. So he's not relatively far away from the house. He can walk back home, like it will take him like 10 minutes. But all of a sudden he starts hearing children, like the voice of children playing outside. And then he asks his friend, he's like, hey, do you hear that? It's like, yeah. It's like, does that sound like children? He's like, yeah. And it's like, do children play outside this late? And he's like, no, they're not children. They're the chaneques. They're the goblins, or I mean the duendes. And it was funny because he said it so casual. That's why he remembers. Like he said it so casual. Like, yeah, it's the duendes. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll take your word. But that's like one of the most memorable times or memories that he has of encountering like that stuff, because he also didn't believe until he heard him, and then he peeked outside and he's like, no, don't peek, because if not, they're gonna follow you home. They're gonna beat you up or something like that. He said he peeked outside, but he couldn't really find them, although he will still like hear voices of children like outside, like playing or something like that, like like that, like shit. He said it was kind of creepy, but he was drunk too, so I don't know. Take his word. And the final one of duendes, this actually happened in my house in Mexico. It happened to my brother. So essentially, my brother, and I mean, that's where you, like you were mentioning, that you do the urban exploring. You don't really fake it, because if you fake it, then your word is not taken under consideration anymore. And this happens to my mom too. She is a woman of her word, and everything that she says, I freaking believe it, because I've never caught her on a lie. And that's how I know that maybe this thing is kind of real. So my brother, and also my brother, he doesn't really lie. So he places his wallet in the desk of the house, and he just puts it there and freaking forgets about it. He's playing PS5 or whatever it is. And all of a sudden, he's gonna go to the store and he's gonna grab his wallet. Well, guess what? The wallet's not there. And I guess he went to the restroom before that, but the wallet wasn't there when he came back. So he goes around the house. There's only 4 people in my house. It's my mom, my little cousin, and my grandma. My grandma's on her room, and she almost never comes down because she has Alzheimer's. So she's kind of just locked inside her room. My little cousin is always playing video games, so he didn't even pay attention. He didn't even know what the wallet was, and he never grabs wallets or anything like that. But he goes around and asks people, my mom and everybody, if anybody took the wallet. Well, everybody says no. And there you go, my mom and my brother like looking for the wallet for an entire, probably like an hour, they say, or close to an hour. And they look exactly where he left it. Nothing's there. They go around the house, they double check and stuff like that. They go back to the place where he left it, nothing there. And almost at the end of the hour, they go back. The freaking wallet is right exactly where he left it. So he's like, duendes. Bottom line.
That's my answer to everything now on.
Yeah.
Also, they stole my virginity too, so
I don't know.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, goddamn fucking duendes and shit.
Duendes.
Give it back.
yeah, I told that to my first girlfriend too. Like, she asked me, "Are you a virgin?" Fucking duendes, dude. Like, these motherfuckers are real. But anyways, that's my story. Any stories that you guys have?
I saw some weird stuff when I was a kid. I don't know. As an adult, I never saw it to that degree. I've seen shadow people like when I was a kid. I saw at least 2.
Shadow people. But those are common, right? Because of your peripheral vision and maybe you're sleepy or something like that.
I swear I was wide awake.
Oh, you were wide awake? Shit.
One time, I think I was already like maybe 13 or 14. I was staying up late one night, and I just had the feeling to look down the stairs. And I looked down, like we had 2 stories in our house at the time. Mm-hmm. So I looked down the stairs and I see like a full-figured person, like completely black, walking up the stairs. Shit. And I freaked out. And I like ran around the house like screaming and like waking everybody up and like.
Yeah.
Then another time when I was a kid, when I was maybe like 5 or 6, I walked into a room and then I saw this big black shadow, like just I don't know, fall past my eyes, and I never forgot it. Like it was so real.
Were you like half asleep by any chance?
Nope. Both times I was wide awake and like normal. Unless I was having like a diabetic coma or something. I don't think so.
That's a kid. I doubt it. But
yeah, no.
Were you?
And I think the first time when I was a kid, the house we lived in, It wasn't a house; it was like a mobile home, but it was like a lot of old retirees lived there, and I think there were like some people who had died in that mobile home. That's probably why I saw it. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are the biggest ones. What's funny is all the times we've gone ghost hunting, I never saw something like that, like straight up right in front of me like that. Yeah.
Did you ever ask yourself, like, why did something like that happen to me at such a young age when I didn't have a camera, as opposed to now where nothing happens?
Yeah. Well, I mean, people have always thought that, I don't know, kids are more in tune with that supernatural world, right? Yeah, something like that.
I have a theory. Not a conspiracy theory, but it's like a crazy theory on that.
Oh, wait, I have one more ghost story. Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. Go for it.
No, you first? Or me?
Well, my theory of why kids see shit is because they're sort of in transition of, you know, when you snap out of it, like you wake up into consciousness, but you can't really figure out like the reality, like you can't really tell what's real or what's not, like you don't have a full conscious when you're a kid. So the theory is that maybe when you're a kid, you're bouncing through realities and shit. So you're seeing creepy shit that it's in another reality or another parallel universe, and at the same time you're like seeing shit in this reality. So that's my crazy theory.
Dude, that makes sense. I
was gonna say,
really
it's similar, because like when you're a kid, your perception is just different. The way you see things and experience the world.
You're
and
vulnerable.
maybe as you get older, you lose it. You know.
Yeah, you lose it. Also, you perceive time like way longer.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking. Like
when you get older, you become awoke.
More like you become more dormant.
I never looked at it that way, the way you said it, Jam. But I do believe that children are more inclined to see and feel stuff like that.
Yeah, because they can make up like their reality. So either it's inside their imagination, or the imagination is like this new other reality or something.
It's almost like their soul is still in limbo and hasn't been developed into a person yet, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, something close like that. So, what was your other story, Ray?
The time I called the cops on a ghost.
Oh yeah, I do remember that one. Yeah, that was a good one. Go.
I've never heard this before.
I've told it to you before.
Did you?
I had to. Okay, so this was back in like 2014 or 15.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it had to be before I met Bobby too.
Probably
16. So my brother and I, we shared a 1-bedroom apartment, right? And it was on the second floor. So that's important to the story, because you can't like climb into the apartment, you can't climb out. There's only one window next to the door. Like that's the only way you can get in. So one day we were both going to work. My brother worked like the morning shift, and I worked the swing shift. Or he worked like morning. It was like a 12-hour shift. So, or I don't know, maybe I got it backwards, but he left before me for the day. Or no, rather, he left after I left for the day. So
wasn't it like or he was doing graveyard or something?
Maybe he was working graveyard. Yeah, he was. No. You're right. He was working graveyard. I was working swing shift.
Right.
So he was home while I was at work. So one night I get off work at midnight. I come home, and I go to our apartment, open up the door. I'm like just going through the motions, right? I don't whatever. I'm home. I open up the door. I step inside the apartment, and I look around, and right away, like something's off. Like our little kitchen, like once you walk into the left, the kitchen, all the drawers, everything was like pulled open. Everything was like all scattered around. Our living room, everything was like all scattered around. Then past the living room, we had a 1-bedroom. It was just a 1-bedroom apartment. The master bedroom was closed and it was locked. I went up and I walked up to it and I tried to jiggle the handle. It was closed. And I was like, oh, I think my brother's playing a prank on me or something. So I step outside, I call him, like, hey, like, what happened to the apartment? Like, why is everything all messed up? And, you know, are you like joking around or playing a prank? He's like, no, when I left, I locked the door and everything was normal. So I thought that maybe someone had broken into the apartment or something, or just walked inside and was
through the window or something.
Well, they couldn't have gone through the window because the window was closed and it wasn't broken or anything. And there's only one window that you could get into the apartment unless they like climbed up the side or something. So I go outside and I'm like, wow, what do I do? I guess I'll call the cops because I think there's somebody in our master bedroom. So I call the cops, and it takes them like 30 minutes to get there. And you know what's great is they sent 2 deputies. One of them was Mexican, and the other one was Asian. So it's like, and that's diversity. You know? I'm gonna get so I tell the cops, I'm like, yeah, I think someone broke into our apartment, and now they're hiding in the bedroom because the door's locked, and there's no reason for us to lock our only bedroom. So I tell the cop, like, here's a key. Like, there was a small key on the top of the door. And I told them how to get it. They open up the door. They go inside the bedroom. They clear it with their guns drawn, flashlights. There's nobody in there.
Freaking bringing the SWAT team, too.
Yeah, I know. So they come out, and then we walk around the apartment, and there's nothing missing, which is really weird. Because we had, like our consoles and computers left out and all that stuff. And we go around to all the windows and the doors. There's nothing broken. There's no signs of forced entry.
So they went into your room and nobody was there, right?
Oh, yeah, if I didn't say that. There's nobody there.
Yeah.
That would have
wait for the climax.
There's nobody there.
Like 2 days. I would be literally up for 2 days thinking about what this could have been.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so... Wait, I'm not done yet. I'm still going. So we, me and the cops, we walk around the apartment, and they're like, yeah, there's no signs of forced entry. It's like, did you leave the door unlocked? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. My brother was here, but before me, because he left after I did. And he swears up and down that he locked the door. And then the cop asked me, he's like, well, was the door locked? And I was like, I swear I put my key in and I had to unlock it to open it. So there's no way like someone could have gotten in here. And then, so the cops are like, well, there's nothing missing. So, I mean, there's nothing we can really do. And then the cops like, you know, I've seen a lot of stuff. And maybe it was, what's the word in Spanish for the boogeyman?
El cucuy, el coco.
Yeah, el cucuy.
Had a case of the coco and shit.
Hey, Ray.
Yeah.
Hey,
I wonder if that cop wrote on his report as like at 2300 hours, fucking case.
Somebody entered the apartment and there was nothing valuable, so they left.
No, they're gonna put in the report. Obvious case of el coco and shit, of el cucuy.
The only thing that was missing was a hot pocket.
Police records.
Okay, well, there's one more part to the story though.
Okay.
A couple of days later, so we have like a patio, right? And there's a glass door that takes you out to the patio.
Right.
And there was a really, really, really big handprint, but it was on the bottom of the glass, and it was in a really weird position. It's like someone would have had to lay down to press their hand up against the glass. Yeah, it was really weird. It was a huge hand. It wasn't the size of mine or my brother's.
Shit.
So yeah,
man, that's some good shit right there. That's some creepy shit.
2 scenarios. Oh, and then I didn't even mention too. My brother swore up and down that place was haunted. Like that apartment we lived in was haunted. He would always see stuff and feel like someone, like the sleep paralysis thing.
Right.
That would happen to him a lot in that apartment. So. I
But
never saw anything other than that, but hey, maybe.
That's
Bobby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
back in 2000. Yeah. Too bad I didn't know you back then, because that was back in like 2000, maybe 13 or 14.
And what I would have done there is I would have gone over there and stayed the night and pulled all-nighters for a series of 10 or 15 times and try to catch something. And that's when you're going to catch something good.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy?
If it wasn't supernatural, I would say that maybe like some junkie like wandered in there. But it's weird they didn't take anything, so it's like
right? Exactly. Yeah. Why would someone come in to mess up your apartment and jam?
Yeah, exactly.
Unless they were a neighbor and they were insane.
Yeah. Oh, the cop asked me too. Is like, yeah, you have any crazy neighbors or crazy ex-girlfriends? So I'm like, oh, none that got a key to the place, you know? Like,
that's crazy. Bro.
That is crazy. Yeah, my theory on that one was one, either your brother didn't lock the door, but when you came back, it was locked, right? So.
I swear it was locked, but then also too, I had just gotten off work. And I'm like, you just come home, you put the key in, and just walk in.
Maybe the crazy neighbor downstairs went in, watched TV, took a shit, and fucked up the apartment. Didn't take nothing, had a soda, and left, but was respectful and locked the door.
No, but that's the thing. There's no history of bad neighbors.
I know. I'm just joking.
What I'm thinking
we did have one. We had one guy who was like mentally disabled. Like, well, you stayed at the apartment. Did you ever run into him? Do you remember?
No, but I remember I remember like in that area, I think people will smell like meth being cooked or something like that. Like there was a lot of people doing drugs. So, and also at the park, remember at the freaking Lake Forest where we used to work. There's a park, a little area where it's a park, and a lot of people used to go there and do drugs. So there are junkies there. So it's definitely like a junkie. But the trick is, how did they get in?
Yeah.
Don't underestimate the mind power of a meth addict.
Hey, did you guys ever watch the X-Files?
Why are you trying to date me, bro?
Bobby, did you watch the X-Files back in the day? Or no?
The X-Files. Bobby.
I think you didn't.
Yeah,
There you go.
Oh, you did? Okay, there was an episode where. Oh, sorry.
The little redhead, of course.
Oh yeah.
I said, why are you trying to date me? That was so back in the day. You're telling everybody my age. Not cool.
I watched it too. What do you want? I watched it too.
That was like mid '90s, dude.
That was a great show. Well, I was poor when I was little, so we could only watch it on.
It was a very good show. It was a very good show. Sci-fi.
Channel 11.
It was on the Sci-Fi channel.
Oh, later. Yeah. But it was
Wasn't
on
it
Fox.
That was on
You
Fox.
don't remember? You don't remember the song?
Yeah. But what was I saying now? There was one episode where they had like their villain of the episode. He could like compress himself down into a little tiny like stick, and he could enter like buildings and stuff that way. It was crazy. He had like an African. It was like an African witch doctor or something like that.
Oh shit.
So, maybe that guy snuck into my apartment. And he like turned into a little stick and went through the fence, and then came out.
Maybe he did that, shrunk himself down to the size of like a piece of paper, went in your apartment, trashed it, but he actually changed all your smoke detector batteries, and then he left. So he's actually a savior.
Oh, he's friendly though.
Yeah.
That's
He just makes a mess whenever he does maintenance on your.
Oh, maybe it was the
so.
maintenance guy who came in. He just said maybe he was having a bad day or something. He's like, oh,
Yeah, maybe it's like,
I'm gonna fuck with this guy.
I'm gonna drink his truly.
Or I was thinking maybe somebody was living with you guys, but you guys didn't notice.
Oh, that's.
I don't know if you guys have seen those videos of home surveillance cameras, and I think it was here in the U.S. that the thing is, it all started because the family their food will go missing. It's like, I just went to get groceries and we don't have any food left, so they will ask like the kids and stuff like that. Like the mom will ask the husband and stuff like that, because they noticed that food was going missing. That's how they figured out that. Later on in the surveillance footage, it revealed that there was I think it was a homeless lady that will climb out of the in the attic and shit, and she'll like grab food and then go back and she'll live with them and shit. That's fucking creepy. Yeah. But anyhow, so any more ghost stories before we wrap it up?
Bobby, you want to share one of your crazy ones?
Wow. I mean, there's so many. There's so little. They're kind of far few in between. I don't even know, Ray. Like, what do you remember that we experienced? Do you remember?
I can't think of any like straight up crazy stuff. I know we got some weird evidence. We got some weird evidence, but
yeah, your brother said that somebody brushed his cheek with their hand or something. And George Air Force Base.
First time we hung out with Bobby, went to Georgia Air Force Base. I took my brother and our other friend along. My brother.
You know what? Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. There's another piece to this. Go ahead, though.
Okay. Yeah, so we went to explore Georgia Air Force Base. If you guys aren't familiar with that place, it's a really super popular abandoned place in Southern California. But anyway, we were walking down some hall, and my brother like turns white as a ghost, and he says like, "I just felt somebody like brush across my face."
Yeah.
And I think that's probably one of the more like direct things we saw while we were like ghost hunting.
You know what's so weird about that night is we were walking collectively as a group throughout the hospital. We were at the hospital, huh, Ray? In Georgia.
Yep.
And there was a moment where like there was a hallway that dead ended, and there was really no place to go. There was no emergency exits. All the rooms were boarded up. And I remember looking into one of the hospital rooms where a patient would stay, and I shining my light in there, and I was looking. And I looked to my left, and I saw you. And then...
Was it me or was it our friend who was looking for copper and stuff? Remember? I think I remember this.
Yeah,
you told me you thought you saw him, but he was like behind you the whole time, and it wouldn't have made sense or something. Was that it?
That was you. So basically, here's what happened. You gotta put yourself in our shoes. This is a pitch black, enclosed, abandoned hospital, and like we're in a wing. If you've ever been in the hospital, where like there's a bunch of patient rooms, long hallways, and we went down to the end where there was nowhere else to go. And I remember sticking my light into a room, and I looked to the left, and I saw you, and I said something to you like, "Damn, this place is a trip, right?" And you said, "Yeah." And then I turned around and I looked into another room, and I heard a noise to my left, and I glanced halfway to my left, and I saw the outline of a person.
Oh,
and
yeah.
And then it was like, I just had this feeling you were still there. And mind you, this all happened within 5, 8, 10 seconds. And I turned around and I realized there was nobody near me. Like I could see everybody at the end of the hallway, and they had their lights on. And I said, "Ray," and I called out for you, and you were way down there, and you said, "What?" And I said, "What the hell? Like, who the hell was just standing next to me?" And it was, I believe it was you at first, and then you walked away. But after a while, when I started looking through other rooms and stuff, I kept feeling a person to my left. And when I looked over, it was actually the black shadow of an individual. Come to find out, there was nobody near me. I was completely by myself at that end of the hospital. That was a trip.
I remember that, but I thought it was our other friend. But yeah, close enough. Same thing. You thought it was one of us, but we weren't there.
Yeah.
Also, what's crazy about the whole Georgia Air Force Base thing is the whole way I got into Bobby's channel is he posted this freaking great picture of like a demon face. You remember that one?
Yep.
Dude, that thing was so clear and creepy looking. You gotta go find that one.
Yellow face.
Yeah, yellow face. It looked like a creepy ass voodoo mask or something.
Yeah,
it looked like. Do you have that photo or?
Yeah, he still has it. It's on one of his videos.
Ah, shit.
Bro, if you want to post it, I'll send it to you. It's weird. And then the weird thing was, me and Ray went back there several times together before, and we still caught that yellow type of mist.
Oh, that's right.
Face. So I just really tripped out. I was like, "What is this? What's in that?" And I know exactly where that room is in Georgia Air Force Base, and I'd love to stick a camera in there for like 24 hours, just to see what the hell that was.
Yeah. That was the whole thing that got me into the ghost hunting. That's where it all began. That's how I ended up subscribing to your channel. I was like, "Oh shit, this guy's good. Got some good
Only
ideas."
the real shit.
That's legit.
Yeah.
we don't care about likes, views, TikTok. I mean, that's all fine at the end of the day if you're making a lot of money, but that's not our goal. That's not my goal, at least. My goal is to produce good content, produce good paranormal investigating, and that's it.
Keep it real.
I'm not keep it real, and I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the business of faking shit. Like it's just me. I want
actually just this past weekend we checked out a couple of old buildings kind of near my house.
Yeah, good little video.
We didn't find anything super crazy. I mean, we got a little hits on the what's that thing? The REM pod, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, REM pod went off twice.
Yeah. But if there was some other YouTube channel, they would have like cut it all up and made it all.
Oh, they would have just.
Oh yeah.
they would have brought up same, just like Ghost Adventures. It's like cookie cutter content, demons, devil worship. What's the famous one? Indian burial ground.
Ouija stuff.
Running out with the loud, creepy music, and getting in the car and breathing heavy, like it's awful.
Who's that?
Who was that?
Oh, did you guys see that?
And at the end of the day, if you're satisfied, if you're satisfied with that type of content and you have millions of followers, that's fine, good for you. But you will never be taken seriously in the eyes of a real paranormal investigator. Yeah. Period. Done.
Period.
Set in stone, baby.
Well, there you have it. I guess this concludes today's episode. Everybody has any more stories they want to share, or should we save it for the next episode? Yeah. Pardon me? Yeah, sure. A plug, like a shout out, or oh, sorry. Oh, okay. Sure thing. No, thank you. And before we wrap it up, Bobby, tell us where we can find you, and also we'll put your stuff on the video so people can look at it and go check you out. So where do we find you?
Number one, you can find me on YouTube, SCPC Ghost, just like it sounds, SCPC Ghost. Or you can find me on Instagram at SCPC Ghost. I explore abandoned places and I ghost hunt. I'm a paranormal investigator and I bring nothing but the truth. That's it. And I started a new Instagram called Strictly Mob Hits. I'm a big mafia guy. I love the mafia genre, the mafia movies, Italian American mafia. So you can hit me up if you're interested in that at mostly _mob_hits.
Okay, there you have it. We always give I just never heard the terminology plug, but we always give a plug to whoever's on the podcast towards the end. So there you guys have it, Bobby. Go ahead and follow him. He has a really good stuff, really good content, and he's original and he's not fake. He's legit, and he keeps it real 110%. And he actually has caught some real disturbing paranormal things, something that other YouTubers freaking fake, but not him. So go ahead and check him out. Also, don't forget to subscribe to his channel, YouTube channel, and follow him on Instagram. You said you have an Instagram, right? Instagram. And there you have it. I'll leave a link in the description on the video. And also, don't forget to follow Ray, 28 Rays Later, on his YouTube channel, and also Ray vs. the World for his. Do you still have are you gonna keep the Urban Exploring on that channel? Or? Okay, because I always say, like, check this Urban Explorer, and you're like, oh, dude, I totally changed it to freaking an eating channel and shit. Food cooking channel. There you have it. So go ahead and follow Ray too, and he also have his Instagram. Which do you use his Instagram? Yeah,
28.rays.later.
There you have it.
Till I get pissed off at social media and shut it off again.
There you go. It's gonna be social media. And last but not good.
Much love. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
No, thank you for joining us. And last but not least, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast channel, and also don't forget to subscribe to our Instagram page of the AV Podcast. And as well, I have another YouTube channel that you guys can check out. I have cosplay stuff and other stuff, and my Instagram, which is Jamshell Graphics. And don't forget to check out my website, where I have comics and merchandise and stuff like that, so you guys can go and take a peek at jamshell.com.
And my Amazon store, and my cooking.
Oh yeah.
Ray, you got an OnlyFans?
I mean, kinda. That's another podcast topic.
Hey, do you have good stuff there, or what?
Like two.
What do you like?
Hey, give it to you guys.
Pictures of your feet or what?
Shit. I'm a binge watch and shit.
All two videos. It's like my hand and stuff, you know.
Oh shit. Just hand stuff.
Okay.
Hand stuff, like my feet.
Hand action.
My elbows.
The Dutch rider and shit.
Hey, if you're making money, more power to you.
Well, there you have it. The OnlyFans will come next time. But until then, don't forget to subscribe. Follow Bobby at SCPC Ghost. Follow Ray at 28 Rays Later. And follow this channel, which is the Alive Podcast. Until next time. And we're out.